plan for these all the kids or the orphan kids. So there is no proper plan. So that's why what I thought is that as I told you, I'm building up the one institute, monastic. I thought to take some of the orphans for that, educate them. Because the best thing is that we can educate them, then let them, once we educate them, once they get the education, so they can survive very well. So this is from what I saw in the Nepal. Other side, not only like this works, I used to do also charity work in the Mongolia. There I've been to the orphan house and orphan place and distribute the gifts and the things for the orphan kids. But most important thing is that I'm trying to understand how we can educate them very well, how we can give them a hope. That's the most important thing. Because when I talk with the director of the Mongolian orphan, that age, the director, not only there, Vietnam also I used to go to orphan places. But the Mongolian, that director, I told him how do you see the improvements of these kids? She was laughing and they told me, very interesting thing. Rinpoche, you cannot see the improvement in the few months of the kids. You have to wait years and years. Then only you can see the improvement. Then I asked her what the difficulty is there. She told me lots of the difficulty. Lots, not only one. First of all, when they bring these orphans, most of these orphans spend the time in the street. They already become the street kid. Very tough. Not only tough, way of the living is that they don't want to listen to anyone. They want to eat what they want. They don't want to follow the rules. They want to go their own way. One challenging. Number two, when you spend a lot of time in the street, when they keep in the orphanage, they don't want to stay in the orphanage. They will run away back to the street. Problem. Number three, these are being the kid, very rough. Always small fights each other. So lots of difficulties. So improvement cannot see the months or two, years and years. Then I asked the one thing, how you do with them? She told me very interesting because she spent a lot of time with that orphan. She told me that the first thing is the care, genuine care for them, affection. Once they feel the affections, then secondly, then all advice goes. When there is no care and the affection and they just go try to give the advice, that will never go into their mind. First thing is not the advising, giving the advice. First thing is the care and the affection. That really opened up my eye. Right now, when we see every situation, every difficulty is like this, first we will try to give the advice. We will forget to show the care and the affection. First, what she told is the good point. So there I did some of charity works over there. Then what I find is out that really helped me a lot with her word. That really helped me really a lot. And the second thing is that what I found with these all orphans, these all kids, sometimes they lose the hope in the society. They lose the hope because they feel that my life is finished. Just what they see, just do that. No any thinking or no any plan for the future. Hope. No hopes for them. So that's why when you see like these, what I saw like these difficulties, so that's why I found it out that that's why this time in the Vietnam, this time I was just 1 month back, I'm in the Vietnam. So that's why I find it, I not only do the charity works, I just established my student group. I just established the one movement. Every of that month, what they have to do, once in the month, they all have to gather, they collect the fund, they buy the food, and go and give the people who are in the street, homeless people, and the kids. That my first, now I'm doing that, giving the food. I make one of the group. So I ask them the group, who want to join, they can join. Giving the food. Because sometimes you noticed that the one time, that my experience, Nepal have really the shortage of the water. Have you been to Nepal? Hmm? Very shortage, lot of shortage of the water. Even sometimes when you get the one bucket of the water, you have to stand on the queue maybe hours. Can you imagine that? Out of the shortage of the water, out of the shortage. So I also do the water distribution activity, water giving, the water distribution activity. So what I did is that the one time I was having the food in the one 5-star hotel. Someone invited me to there. So while I'm having the food on the plate, having a food, and then the waiter came and they tried to change the plate with another dish, another food. So then I told the waiter, no, I don't want to change the plate. No, he told me it's his service. He's willing to do that. So I told him, do you know that how the difficulties of water shortage in the Nepal? If you don't mind, can I talk with your manager? So I told them that you can request the customer if they really want to change or not. Because if you don't change the plate, you can save a lot of the waters. You can see the city where shortage of the water. So from there on now, so many years, whenever I eat the food, I only use the one plate. I never change the plate. That's my way. I'm thinking that at least I can save the few drops of the water. If people started to do like that, we can save a lot of the water. So also then I thought one time the leftover food. Sometimes we left of the food, we throw it away. But there are a lot of the peoples who have nothing to eat at all. Because this time I have a very strong experience. When maybe 3 or 4 months back, I was in Nepal. Nepali tradition was quite strange that whenever you give the food to leftover food to your friends or whoever, they will never eat it. Yet traditionally, they feel that it's become impure. Someone eat the food and touch the food and it become impure. Traditionally, they have the one belief. So one time after coming from the restaurant, we have some leftover food, we pack it and came. So then I saw one very poor beggars on the street. So my student was telling me that whether we should give that food to that beggar. So I don't know. Maybe the beggar won't eat. This is the way. In the Nepali terms, we call touched food because it's eaten by someone. So they might feel that it's impure, it's dirty or not clean. So no, he told me no. He just went. He just went and gave the food that the beggar. So I saw the beggar eat like he never had that food for such years long. He didn't have the food. He ate it all. So then I really felt that we have to use the leftover food very properly. So that's why I started the one group in Vietnam, and every other once a month they will gather, collect the fund, and buy the food and give for the peoples the homeless people and the street kids or like that. So like this, I am not only beside of the giving the teaching. So these all the charity activities while I'm doing all the charity activities. So I learned from these activities the few things. What I learned from these charity activities is like that. Sometimes when you're not doing all these activities, just staying in the home, sometimes you will not know that how lucky you are. When you involve in these activities, when you see all these things, then you will feel that how lucky you are. Sometimes we forget that how lucky we are. So sometimes we have to remind ourselves how lucky we are, but reminding itself is not enough. So when I do all these activities, then I feel really I'm so lucky. At least I'm so lucky that when doing all these activities, charity activity, I should say the charity activities. So number one, that I will learn what number one. Number two is that what I find is that from us, it might be very small. Just giving a $1, $5 amount might be very small. But what I learned is for them, it's a huge. It can change a lot of things in their life. What happened is one time in Nepal, in the very remote area in the Nepal side. In the Nepal, there's some of the remote area, there is no road, no access. Only you can go by the walking. Maybe you have to go 3 or 4 days by the walking, then only reach like this remote area. What I heard is that one of the remote area, some people died with the diarrhea, having the diarrhea. But they told me that because they don't have the medication, if they can buy that medication from the Kathmandu, the capital of the Nepal, it will cost only around maybe 10 or 15 cent. But sometimes the 10 or 50 cent can save the life of the people. For us, the 10 cent, $1 might be nothing. But for them, that can save the lives. So that I know that whatever we do, some small, might be a very small things from our side, but that can affect or they can help. For them, it will be the big contribution. That's what I learned. Third thing is that, sorry, today is not any Dharma topics. Just sharing my experience.
Oh, actually, I just wanted to say, for me, it is a Dharma talk because I think all the points that you're making that are coming out, I feel directly relate to how we use the Dharma.
It's very good to hear.
Yeah. So the third thing is that what I learned is that when you do the charity works, sometimes when you're trying to do, and the one thing we have to go and the thing that without any expectations. Sometimes we go and do with the expectation. We will expect maybe we give something. Expect that that person might have to become happy. Expect
that work?
Yeah, could that work? But it depends because we like that because we want to work it in a very clean way.
Right.
You got my clean way.
Right.
When someone donated maybe $100,
Right.
$100, they donate. We want to show the person who donated the $100, show them that your $100 we use like that. At least they can see.
Right.
So through the bank, then there will be the track. We can show very clean track how we use and how much we withdraw that. So that's the reason. But now another channel we find it out that the other days also other channels. So we found it out that we can get the cash, we can use it, we can do that. That's it. Yeah, we found also other channel. Yeah. So So that's a. So I'm talking about
I just want to add a thought about sometimes we want to help, and then what comes into the picture sometimes is a question of ethics, like to be able to keep our ethics, baseline that we have, and to be able to find creative ways. If this doesn't work, do it this way, but kind of like the baseline being to keep our ethics. I was just thinking about sometimes that really presents challenges and things that people may want, maybe things that aren't really going to help them, but are going to hurt them. So I was just thinking, talk a little bit about ethics and still make sure you go ahead and help on this one.
Ethics. Yeah.
I was assuming
Sometime we were traveling in the car. One of my students, he's a monk, when the drive a little bit fast, he quite scared and shouted. Then I asked him, do you have some bad experience with the driving the fast car? So then he told me, 10 or 15 years back he had a small accident. So that's why. So these all we call the imprints. Still, very strange thing is that when you have the accident or when the bad experience, they will have imprints in the mind. So that passed maybe years and years, even it passed, but still there will be some imprints in your mind that makes you fear, that makes you scared. So now the karma is actually something like that. Okay, now the karma, this is the general way. Now the second point. Second point like that, terms you call the deja vu, no? Deja vu. Deja vu.
Deja vu.
Deja vu?
Yeah.
Deja vu. How do you say that? Deja vu.
Deja vu.
Deja vu. I think that's a French term, isn't it?
Yeah,
Deja
probably
vu.
pronounced differently by the French.
Pardon?
So the French probably pronounce it differently.
Oh.
So this is my English version
I
of
see.
the French word.
Yes, we say deja vu.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
Deja vu. Okay. Deja vu. Okay, look at deja vu. When you feel and when you meet someone, you will feel that you have met him before. When you reach some places, you will feel that you have been there before. But the question is that does the brain give us the wrong signal or wrong message? That's the one question. Does the brain is giving us a wrong message? or what. Whether its brain is giving the right message or wrong message. Because when you're touching on the glass, you will feel something. Actually, the brain is giving us the message. When you feel the cold, suddenly you will feel that now I'm getting a cold. Because the brain is giving us the message. Every time brain gives us the very right message. Like a deja vu cases, where the brain is giving the right message or wrong message. So here it comes now the karma issue. When you're meeting someone, you feel that you have met him before, but you cannot remember at all when you met him. Because properly you have not met him in this life. But you might have some connection from the past to past life. But there is an imprint in the mind. That imprint can affect the brain. As I told you, when you're going to sleep and you think very strongly, you are thinking you have to get up in the morning 5 a.m. Then there will be some imprints in the mind that can affect the brain. So same thing like this deja vu cases, there will be the imprints in the mind that can affect in the brain, and then brain give us the message that you have seen them before. You feel very familiar. Second thing is like a feeling. When you meet someone, you feel very close. Even you have not spent the one single day with that person, but you feel very closeness. So how does that feeling arises? It comes from the brain. Why that specified person? Why not with the others? Why you feel the very closeness with that person? Why? These also, they are not questions, but there are lots of questions like that arises. So that is that comes from the karma. You might have some very close relation from the lives, past lives and lives. So so that's why this life, when you're meeting with someone, you feel very close, close with someone. So that's something like a karma. So sometimes how the karma works, it's a little complicated. How the karma works is a little complicated, because there is a saying that only the Buddha knows how the karma works. Only the Buddha knows. But we can know only maybe 50 or 60% how the karma works. 100%, if you want to know, there's only one way. You have to become the Buddha, that's all. When you become the Buddha, then you will know. I always used to say one thing, that whenever I give the talks, in case that if you become the Buddha, before then May, you should not forget me, okay? Yeah, so this is so the karma, sometimes the karma, how it works. So that's why now we look at the karma. So because finding the very funny thing, okay, I will give you the one now, the karma, like a Nepal earthquake. There is one, my translator, he was doing a lot of translation to me. So later on I asked him what are you doing when the earthquake hit in the Kathmandu. So he narrated a very, very interesting story. Interesting and sad. He was telling me he was riding the bike. And he just stopped near the one building. Then he just stopped and he parked the bike. How do you say, park or park the bike?
Park the bike, yeah.
Bike.
That's
Okay.
good.
Parked the bike. Then he left. Just left in there, after 3 seconds, earthquake hit and the building collapsed. Person who was coming behind him, just on that scene, they just, I don't know, maybe died, or when the building collapsed, they just buried under the building. Also, the person who was coming from his opposite direction, they also covered by the building. Just 3 seconds, he was just saved. I mean, just that 3 seconds made the big difference in his life. Just walking, just 3 seconds ahead of that building, he was saved. But here question comes, this is just a coincidence, or there might be some other reasons? Is it just a coincidence or like that, or some other reasons? So that's another karma. Maybe his karma might be different. His karma might be different, that's why he was saved. So now the one question comes, if everything karma decides, so what about the destiny? What is going to happen? It will happen. So then we can do nothing. Just wait and see, we can do nothing. So this question, if everything is a karma decide, so then we become like a robot. We are just acting. The karma was doing everything. The karma was doing. So we are just become like a robot. So now it comes. So that's why they say the two types of the karma. certain and uncertain. One karma is a very certain. Many karmas are uncertain. We can change a lot of things. Just like that. When you prepare the noodle soup, when you're preparing the noodle soup, after you get the noodle soup, you can adjust so many things. Salt, spice, you can adjust it. But you cannot change the noodle soup completely into the pizza. That you cannot do that. You can adjust a lot of things, but you cannot change completely. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a nice analogy.
Yeah. Yeah. So something is like that. So something is like the karma. So a lot of things that we can change, but still we have to accept that we cannot completely change totally from like a noodle soup to the pizza. Then we cannot do that. But still we can. A lot of things we can adjust. Salt, spice, a lot of things we can change the flavor. That we can do it.
The day before I become the Buddha, I'll call you up and tell you how the karma works.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I will wait for that. Okay. Okay. So that's the karma. So karma, how it works. So that's the one thing. But what I found with the other point of the karma, psychologically, how it gives the strength for the human mind. Psychological. From the karma, it gives a lot of the positive, the strength in our mind. Because whenever the bad thing happens, first thing is that we cannot accept that. When you believe on the karma, then it's very easy to accept that's a karma, my karma. Might be excuse. Might be give some way to accept it. As I told you yesterday, some bad thing happens, most difficult things we cannot accept that. That's the most difficult thing in our life. Whenever bad thing happens, we cannot accept. That's why we always ask the why me, why me. As I told you yesterday, when the good thing happens, you never ask the why me. When you win the maybe $1 million lottery, you will never ask me the why I won the lottery. You never ask this question. Why you are not asking? Because you can accept it. Because you feel you deserve it. That's why you never ask this question. When a bad thing happens, you cannot accept it. You feel you don't not deserve for it. Deserve, isn't it? How do you say that? Deserve?
Just deserve.
Huh? Yeah. So that's why you never ask this question for yourself, that why me. So that's why the first thing is accept the karma. Karma, that believing on the karma, it helps us to accept the bad things, whatever happens like. When you accept it, then these all challenges or the problems or the difficulty, when you accept it, then you can challenge it, then you can overcome it. Once you cannot accept it, you cannot overcome it. Any difficulties, any challenges, any issues comes into your life, when you have to overcome it, first step, acceptance. First step, you have to accept it. Yeah, there is a problem, you have to accept it. When you believe there is no problem, there should not be the problem, then there is no way to overcome the problem. Most of people, they will feel that they should not be the problem. Everything should be the perfect. It cannot happen. Everything cannot become a perfect. Only maybe when you achieve the perfection of the wisdom, then maybe everything can become the perfect. Up till then, maybe there will a lot of things that are not a perfect. So there will happen. So that's why from my own experience, karma with the believing that helped me really a lot to accept that. So lots of the things sometimes it not happens what we wish. Sometimes we wish something and there happens something else. There is a story. One mother with the 3 kids. These all 3 kids asked the mother to give them an orange. So mother might be so poor, so could not afford the orange. So what she did is she gave them the 3 lemon instead of the orange. 3 lemon. First kid shouted at the mother and threw the lemon. Said that now I don't want to eat the lemon. I want to eat the orange. Lemon is a sour. Orange is a sweet. I don't want to eat the lemon and throw the lemon. Throw it out. Then the second kid, little bit gentle, tried to eat the lemon. Even it was very sour, he tried to eat it. He could not enjoy it at all, eating the lemon. But the third kid, what he did is, while the mother gave the lemon, he made the lemonade. Lemonade, isn't it? Lemonade. He made the lemonade and add the sugar and drink the lemonade. Same thing like that. Things happens in our life. Now it's upon to us how we take it, whether we try to throw it, whether we eat that we try to take it, or whether we have changed it, that condition of that bad condition to change into the better condition. That's in. So one time, my student told me the one thing. I asked him that if you ask for the orange, and if you get the lemon in your life, you might always ask maybe good things, no? We wish for the good things. When you wish the orange, if you get the lemon, what will you do? He told me that he will try to eat the lemon because he cannot afford the sugar. So he cannot make a lemonade. So something like the karma. So when we believe on the karma, so it will help us to how we can accept so many things and what's happening. So that's a result of the karma. So we have to accept. Fine. Now the second thing is, the good thing is, a karma always is when you're having some bad things, it will purify the lot of the bad karmas. Purifying the bad karmas. So that means that we will have one more positive hopes. Wow. So one time, I remember that one time, so usually there in the Tibetan we have the one saying that if you suffer, it will purify the negative karma. But at least that will give us one hope when you are suffering. When you think that it will purify your bad karma, it will give you the one joy. Even you might be suffering, but the one other side, you will have the one joy. So that is the balance of our life. It can balance our life. Because the one other thing is that when you look at our life, there are so many things happens that what we don't want. So many things happen that what we don't want. So there always big question comes, how it happens. How? So that's why the karma theory came up. How it happens, the karma. So that's the theory came up. Like when you look at the earthquake, as I told you, the earthquake hit on the Kathmandu. Lots of people died. A lot of people survived very miraculously. Miraculously, there a lot of people have survived. Now comes down why those people died and why those people survived. Why? Very funny thing is that such a big earthquake hit in the Kathmandu. But when my parents narrated their story, that's a very strange. They told me when the earthquake hit, and the Tibetan we call this place we call the Buddha room, where we keep the water bowls and the flowers and like this. But they told me that even the water bowl have not fallen down. Even when they keep the pictures on the wall, even the pictures have not fallen down. Very amazing, no? But the just sight of the neighbor, the house is collapsed. But in my room, the bowl is not fallen down. The water bowl is not fallen down. So now this point, sometimes I feel very difficult to explain in a very scientific manner. Just next to the house, the wall is collapsed, house is collapsed. But in the room, not only my home, some other places in the room, even the water bowls and the pictures where they hang on the wall, that will not have fallen down. So that's the why. Why? This always the human mind is very strange that we will carry the lot of the question. Why it always comes in our mind, the human minds, because we're having the lot of questions always comes in the human mind. Yeah.
I'm now with the knowledge of the Buddha and the Lamrim, I understand what is to be somewhat awake in this world, and I understand the karmic seeds that I have
Okay. Now the session maybe what will I start at the purification of the karma. Okay, we talked a lot about the karma. So now we will have the way of the purification of the karma, practice of how we can purify the karma. So maybe we'll have a short session, okay? Because maybe we had to lunch, we take the walk. Okay. So now this is the session is something like that. I'm introducing this session, and later on maybe we will meet again on online or something like that, because it is just like a starting the dose, okay, medication. So when you start the medication, that at least have dreaming. When you see someone flying in the sky, when you see your friends flying in the sky, when you have the dream that yourself flying in the sky, will you think? Have you had the dream that they're flying in the sky? Huh? Okay. Anyway, when you had it, have you ever thought that moment, how can I fly? When you had the dream of seeing your friend flying in the sky, you will never think that how he or she can fly. Am I right? In the daytime, when you are not sleeping, when you are awakened and you see your friend flying in the sky, you will get so surprised and ask. So many questions will come into your mind. How he can fly? What happened to him? Where? Yeah, so many questions will come into your mind. In the dream time, even very strange things might come into your dream, but you will not ask so many questions, because you are the less conscious. You are less conscious. Right now you are fully conscious. Less conscious, but more clear. When you're having the dream, when you see something, it is you cannot see by your eye. Eye consciousness is not there. But still what you see is so clear. When you're having the dream state, you will feel like it's very difficult to differentiate when you are dreaming and when you are feeling something, when you are eating something. It feels like you are just having that, how do you say, it looks like it's a very real. So now my point is that, so that's why now the dream, these all comes from the many reasons. One reason is that because of the imprints what we are having in the mind, that imprint will bring a lot of the dreams. So have you ever heard that some people what they dreams, it comes? Also sometimes you might experience that you might dream something and it comes the next day. It may comes next day. Because dream is something states that in the dream we have to differentiate many labels of the dream, okay? Many labels and many categories in the dream. Sigmund Freud always paid the very importance for the dream, and he always tried to say that the dream shows it's a very important, and he always says that the dream is some indications or gives the indication of the future events. But from Buddhism point of view, some dream can be, not all. Some dreams are totally false. Some dreams arise from your imprints, or the imprints what you are having in the consciousness, imprints. Sometimes that's a dream state. It's how the dream comes. It's a very mystery from the psychology. I mean, in the science, it's quite mystery how it comes and how it goes there. So that's why my point is that right now when you're doing that meditation and the truth, inside the 2 weeks, that 70 to 80%, I can assure you that you might have the dreams. That maybe dreams not that usual dream. Okay, I should say the little bit unusual dream. Dream like you cannot explain that the very funny dreams. Or once you have the dream like flying in the sky, when you dream like taking the shower, or when you dream like you are having the vomiting, these are the indication that now you are the negative karma seed is reducing. That day, when you had these times of the dream, on that day, you will feel more body as a light. Feel the body more light. Little you are having the body sensation will be different. Clear, no? Yeah.
I had a dream also people were turning into insects.
A dream what?
People were turning into insects.
Okay, wow. But you will never ask the question. I hope.
Why do they do that?
Did you know? I mean, in the dream, did you feel that why they are turning into insect?
No, I did not. No, I was just amazed and I watched.
Okay. I hope this within the 2 weeks. Maybe I hope that you will have a dream the insect turning into the human of that. You had a dream human turning into the insect. Okay. So 10 minutes. Okay, at least you have to spend the 10 minutes for the daily practice. Okay, clear? No practice. What you do the practice. Okay, that is for the purifying your negative karma and the negative sins. Okay. When you had that, so maybe we'll meet after 2 weeks, maybe on the Skype or whatever. Okay, then maybe we will keep touch, then you can call me, then we will find some time. Then I want to see, okay? Then when you had that and the experience, then what will we do? So you have to share me your experience, okay? Then maybe we can increase the dose or reduce the dose, or that we will see, okay? Because meditation is something like that. Because I have experience that usually I'm having the Skype class in the different countries. So one session we just have the shamatha, the one concentration meditation. We had the session in the Skype with the public. So 2 or 3 participants, I was so amazed that they are practicing maybe 2 or 3 times a week, or one time in the class, and one time maybe 1 or 2 times when they get back to the home. So what I found is that these 1 or 2 participants, now they gain such a state where they can concentrate or focus on the end object without distraction more than 25 minutes. 25 minutes without distraction, they can concentrate and meditate on the same point. So my point is that, my point is that, so when you do this meditation, your experience, so that maybe when we share the experience, then I will know that whether what should be now, I should guide you another meditation. Because it is something like that, when you're introducing the meditation, it is like something you are giving the dose. When you give the dose, you will say dose or what? Medication. Huh?
The pill,
Pill.
the dose is okay.
Dose is okay, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. When you're giving some medications or that, at least you have to understand the level of the patient. Because I heard the one story of in monastery, Sarah Monastery, there is one healthcare center. So there is one doctor. So what I heard is that the monks used to go and they tell their problem with that doctor. Before starting the narrating their sickness, they told me the doctor already write something on the prescription. Write the prescription and give it to the monks who used to consult with that doctor. So I mean that it is very proper way. With the proper way, what the doctor have to listen the patient's the status and the patient's issue. Then only they can prescribe the better dose or better medication. Same thing like that on this medication. So when I listen, when after 2 weeks later, then when I listen the experience, then how your meditation is going on, then I can say, then maybe second step, the medication step won't be the same. Because when you meditate the 2 weeks, your experience won't be the same. That might be different. That's why you look at the Buddhas. Some Buddhas are white, some Buddhas are green, some Buddhas are yellow. Body colors are not the same. No, they are different body colors. They are having it. So that also shows the very clear that when you practice it, when you practice meditation, your experience will come from your way of the practicing. Your experience comes from your way of the practicing, number 1. Number 2 is that your physical, as I told you yesterday, the physical body and the mental have a very deep relation. From your body element, body's energy, and all these also influence a lot to your practice, to your experience. So it will be not the same. So that's why what you have to do is that after 2 weeks, maybe once we meet in the Skype, then you can share your experience. Then we will see what to now introduce which type of the meditations or what type of the meditations now. Okay, so for the 10 minutes for the 2 weeks, okay, 10 minutes. If you can do the 20 minutes, fine, good. Okay, at least the 10 minutes. Okay.
And you can do it like 5 minutes in the morning?
Yeah, very fine.
Just total 10 minutes?
10 minutes, total 10 minutes. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes in the evening, you can do that, okay? But at least if you do in the office, just try to sit very straight, okay? When you get tired, then relax your body, okay? When you get tired, then relax the body. Otherwise, do it for 1 or 2 minutes, do it like a back straight. Then once you get tired, then relax your body, and then you can practice it, okay? So 10 minutes, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes in the evening. Then it will become 15 minutes. So when you do, then at least that mantra you have to chant 21 times, okay? Om Banza Sato, Om Banza Sato. That are 21 times, okay? Maybe you can chant 5 times a morning, 5 times a evening, and 5 times a night or something like that. Om Banza Sato Hum. Okay.
But what if you do it more than 21 times? Is that okay? Or it
Yeah,
has to be-
fine, no problem. At least I'm just saying that
Sometimes
you
I
have to.
get lost on the number.
Yeah, fine, no problem. Then you can just say the 20, the 22, 25, 50, no problem.
Okay, minimum 21.
Minimum 21, okay? There's no maximum, okay? Minimum 21. Clear, no? Okay. Minimum 21, okay? When you do, it is very difficult to chant the mantra and the meditate together, okay? First you meditate, okay? Then you chant the mantra, okay? Simultaneously, it's very difficult to do it simultaneously. Because once you're used to it, then it's not that difficult. Once you're not used to it, then it might be difficult. Clear, no? Any questions?
So when, like the third step, when you kind of see your body crystallize, that's all you need, like the whole body?
Yeah, whole body. Just you have to
Okay.
visualize, okay? Closing your eyes. Close your eye and visualize that your body of transferring the total like a crystal light, okay? Crystal glass, like a very crystal glass, which you can see your body from inside out, outside in. Okay? Because sometimes we're having a lot of the physical issues because of this body. So
I have a question. So I did this practice many years ago, and I tried to do the 100,000, with the long mantra. I didn't finish, maybe 20,000 I only did. And the rule is you must do 108 every day. And I think chanting the long mantra in my mind, my body getting tight and my breathing getting a little tight, just and now I hear you say it, just do the short mantra, and I think, oh, maybe it's a lot better for me because not so much tension in my body, just doing short mantra.
short mantra you would have a less tense. Because the long mantra and the short mantra effect is the same. There's no big difference in the effect. But the long mantra, if you have a time, then maybe you can do with the long mantra. Because right now difficulty is a time. So the people, they don't have that much of the time. So that's why. Okay. Any other? Clear, no?
Yes.
Okay. Then you do it, okay? For the 2 weeks, okay? Then we will meet after 2 weeks in the Skype or wherever, okay?
Okay.
Skype in the 2 weeks, then you can. What good thing is that if every 3 or 4 days, if you can write down the sum of the experience, that will be good. If you can keep as a record, okay? In the ancient time, in the Tibet, what they used to do, that they will meet with the master and they will narrate that they are all the experience with the master. So now the time we cannot meet like that in the ancient time. So what you can do 2 or 3 days later, while you are practicing and meditating, write down your whole experience, what the experience you are having. Okay, might be right now you might feel that that's very irrelevant, is not important, but write down. Okay, after 6 or 7 months back, when you look back, then you feel, wow, that's a very important. Right now you might not know that whether it's important or not important. You will not know it at all. So whatever experience, 3 days or 4 days experience, write down. Some like unusual dreams like that, write down. Okay, but that's all, write down for the personal record. Okay, you don't have to submit to me. Okay, that's as a personal record. But the experience of the meditation, what you're feeling, experience might be difficulties or might the joyness or some whatever the experience that you can share. Okay, clear, no?